Hi, everyone. I'm Jackie Garcia, a Principal Solution Engineer here at Perforce Software. Today, we're diving into the P4 plugin for Visual Studio. P4 in Visual Studio enables you to use your P4 server for source control from within Visual Studio. Whether you're new to P4VS or upgrading, this guide will get you up and running fast. Some of the agenda items I want to cover today are requirements, how to install P4VS, the latest features in this release, and how to start using P4VS. Before we install, let's cover the basics. To use P4VS 2025, you will need Microsoft Visual Studio 2015 or newer, a connection to your Helix Core server, Windows 10 or later, and your credentials to connect to that P4 server. Installing P4VS is simple with a few ways to install. Install directly from within Visual Studio using the Extension Manager. Download a P4VS installer from the Visual Studio Marketplace, or do a silent installation from the command line. Once you've installed, go to the Tools menu, Options, Source Control, and be sure to set P4VS as your default provider. And then boom, you're now connected to Perforce right inside Visual Studio. P4VS 2025.1 brings some exciting upgrades. We've added a new configuration under the P4 Data Retrieval tab to control project glyphs loading on selection. We've also improved solution project load performance by batching fstat server requests to smaller groups, preventing hangs and enhancing responsiveness. We have also optimized performance during add to source control for large solutions by batching add files and fstat requests. This prevents hangs caused by sending all files in a single server call. And lastly, add to source control now filters out ignored files. With these latest performance features, it makes collaboration and code management smoother than ever. We hope you enjoy these latest features.
Let's walk you through the essentials. First, let me show you the installation through the Extension Manager. Let's go to Extensions on the menu bar, go to Manage Extensions, and from here I'm going to type in P4VS, select Install. Once I've selected Install, I'm going to go ahead and close out of P4VS. And now once installed, I'll go over into Tools, Options, go to Source Control, and now I can see that Source Control P4VS is my main source control provider, and from here I can see the selections of my connections, data retrieval. These are the options that I can modify for P4VS when working with my P4 server. So now that I have P4VS installed, I can start to manage my projects and submit them into the P4 server. Connecting with your P4 server is simple. All we need to do is go to File. We want to open a connection to the P4 server. This is the server I want to connect to, and this is the user I'm connecting as, and this is the workspace I'm going to select. If I wanted a different workspace, I can go ahead and browse and select a different workspace, but I'm good with the tracker demo workspace, and I'm going to say, okay, open that one. That's going to open the connection to the server, and then what I want to do is I want to go ahead and open the solution that's in the server, and that's within this stream. And then I'm going to select that solution, and I'm going to say open it, and it's going to go ahead and load up my solution into the Visual Studio console here. And so now when I look at File, I can see that I have the options of opening a solution, opening the connection, and closing a connection. But I also have this additional menu of P4. This allows me to refresh the state of the files that are in Visual Studio. I can check the files out. I can manage files. I have revisions that I can take a look at, show history. I can do a copy and merge if I'm working with streams, multiple streams, shall I say. I can diff files if I have different versions of those files that are in the P4 server. I can take a look at the views within that P4V also has, so I can go and jump into P4V. I can look at the time-lapse view, revision graph, and the stream graph. So those are just a few options from the file menu. And then if I go to the view menu, I also have where I can go ahead and I've gone ahead and docked the workspaces tab, I've docked the submitted change list tab, and I've docked the pending change list tab down at the bottom here, so I can see those within Visual Studio, and I can bring that up, and again I can just kind of manage the layout here, seeing those. I can see pending changes that are happening. Right now I don't have anything for this particular project, and then the submitted change lists that are in the server. So I have a couple of options in here of what I can do. Go ahead and bring this screen down. And the other ways is I also have the menu bar. When I'm working with these projects, I can see that the green icons are indicating that I have the latest version of these files within my workspace. And so again, just a simple right click, and I'm going to go ahead and see, I can check the file out, manage files again. Just like from the file menu, I can do revisions, copy and merge, diff, and take a look at a few of the different views. And then I also have the menu here for my P4 commands. So this is doing the refresh. I can check out a file. I can reconcile offline work. I can go ahead and load up more commands. So that's how you navigate and get around Visual Studio using the P4VS plugin. So now I want to go ahead and modify this app. So there's a change that I want to make, and I want to make a change right here. And it's asking me if I want to check this out, and yes I do. Let's go ahead and check this file out so I can make the change. All right, made that change in there. And then I also want to make a change here. I want to also add another option for the cappuccino, and yes I do want to check this one out as well. Let me go ahead and put that in. And so now when I look at my changes that I have, I've got these files that I've changed. So let me go ahead and actually do a diff from this view over here in the Solution Explorer. So I'm going to go in here. I'm going to say, show me a diff. Changes have I made? It shows that I did add the cappuccino in there, 70 milligrams. I'm going to go ahead and do a diff for this one. Take a look at what the have list is and versus what I actually have and I've changed, and that's in there. And that looks good to me. I'm going to submit this into this server. That in, and submit that back into the server. And so there I go. I've gone ahead and added cappuccinos over to my coffee tracker app. And so one of the other things, if I wanted to take a look and see where the changes are, what's the history of this particular file, I want to go ahead and manage files, and I can see if I've made any changes to it, if I do and reconcile offline work, if I did that, but I don't really want to do that. I want to show history. And there we go. So in here, it's showing me the history of the files, changes that have happened to both the XAML file and the CS file. So in here, it shows me the differences. And as I select each versions of these, you'll notice that down below, it's giving me details of that change list of that file when it was submitted. And that's showing me the file history of that change. And so one of the other things I can do is, I've showed you the diffs, so I'm good here. Now let's focus our attention on this shell change list. It is currently showing that the owner of the shell change list is with Terry. He's gone ahead and taken a look at this file. I asked for him to review it, and he's gone ahead and given me the thumbs up on it. So I'm just waiting for Terry to go ahead and switch that back over to me as the owner of this particular change list. And so let's take a look. And let's do a refresh of the pending change list, and there we go. So Terry went ahead and gave me that change list back as the owner. And what I want to do is I want to go ahead and I want to unshelve this change list. We can delete it and revert if I have anything open. I don't believe I do. Looking at the Solution Explorer, I don't show any checked out files. So I'm going to go ahead and unshelve that into my workspace. And then in here, we'll take a look. So we'll submit this into the server. And we've got our change in the server. So that's how easy it is to go ahead and use the shelving command from within Visual Studio when I'm working here, or if I even need to go ahead and assign this and change the ownership. If I do have a file that's checked out, I'll be able to change the ownership here, assign it to another developer, and then they can go ahead and give me the thumbs up on that one. One of the last things I want to show you is how to switch from one project to another project, because they're each contained in their own separate workspaces. So what I want to do with this solution, I'm done with it, so I'm going to go ahead and close the solution. And then what I want to do is, don't want to use that one, wizard. So when I'm going to go here, I'm going to say open connection to the Perforce server. And then I want to work with the calculator app in this case. Yes, connect me to the server. Go to File menu one more time, open up the solution from the depot, and this one is in the Classic depot. The previous coffee tracker was in the Streams depot, so I can switch between Streams and Classic depots if I'm using both of those to store my projects. So in here, I'm going to go ahead and select that solution and go ahead and load it up, and I am ready to go with the plugin in Visual Studio and start working with that and being able to version all the changes that I have.
That's your quick start guide to P4VS 2025.1. From installation to how to work with P4VS, this plugin makes version control seamless inside of Visual Studio. Try it out, explore the latest features, and level up your development workflow. Don't forget to like and drop your questions in the comments. Happy coding.